Hey, so what's up guys? I'm gonna be showing you today how to make a Black Kray or Bladee type beat. This is the first tutorial I've done, so let me know if you have any feedback in the comments. And because this is YouTube, you gotta like and subscribe. But yeah, I guess to start, I'll play some of the beat so you can have a preview of what it's gonna sound like, and then I'll really get into it. So yeah, here's the first part of the beat. Yeah, so that's what I've got for the beat. I guess we'll start with the melodies. So I used Serum a lot in this beat, and I had to render out the patterns, as you can see, because of CPU. A lot of the patches I used just had like a lot of unison voices and stuff. But I saved the patterns here, so I can show you the MIDI patterns. Even though they're not playing in the beat and it's just rendered stuff. So the first melody, and the melody I started with, is this one right here, rendered as Serum number 7, and it's an 8-bar loop that sounds like this. So yeah, this is the pattern that corresponded to that. This is what the MIDI looks like for that. Looks a little something like this. And the patch I used was Keys Ezra. Yeah, I don't know where I got that, but that is what I used. And so then I rendered it out with no effects, and I put it in the playlist, and I sent it to channel 2, and I just have I have the gross beat pitch shifter on it with time set to 0, so it's just having a slight declicking effect. Then I have an EQ where I cut out the lows, because when you have the clipping effect, there's like this really like low thumping sound that comes in, and I cut some frequencies I didn't like and boosted the highs and high mids to have stuff that I did like. So I'll play it again with and without. I'll play it without effects and with effects. Yeah, so that's what that sounds like. And the reason it's cutting off there is because on the melody bus, I routed all my melodies to a melody bus where I have two duck things. This is a really good plugin for like volume automation and like side chaining and pumping. And I set this to 4 bars, so it just cuts out on the end there when I turn it on. And this is one that has a longer cut as well. And then I have a EQ on all the melodies. Yeah, just cutting out the lows and some of the like low mids that were clashing with other elements in the beat. So yeah, that's pattern number 1. Then I've got, this is the second pattern, the second instance of Serum. It's also just a loop. It sounds like this. Yeah, so that's what that sounds like. This was from this pattern. So it's exactly the same MIDI as the first one, I'm pretty sure. I also used Serum. I used a pad care from the Lucky 8 Serum Bank. And for effects on that, I just have an EQ, cutting out the lows, boosting some of the mids to complement the plucky key sound. So then the next pattern that I did was this one here, and it sounds like this. And yeah, so for effects, I have an EQ, boosting the highs, cutting out this part here, which I think clashes with the pluck, cutting out some low mids. And then I have a manipulator, which I just did a tiny bit of detune and a tiny bit of wet value. And so without the effects, sounds like this. With them, just a little more, it fits with the beat a little bit better. Yeah, so then, and that is in this pattern here. This is what the MIDI for that looks like. And the preset is in Serum. It's lead pendulum from Shinju Serum Bank. I think I changed it though. I think in the original form, this oscillator is off. It's just doing FM modulation to the other oscillator, and then this LFO is routed to the amplitude of that oscillator. And I don't have that. I don't have that on. Might have tweaked some other stuff too. Might not have. But yeah, so that's like the main lead in the beat. I think that sound pretty much carries the beat. It's like pretty catchy in my opinion, and it cuts through the mix nicely without sticking out too much. So that was really like that's pretty much the star of the beat as far as sounds go. So then moving down, I have oh yeah, and also so I have different sections for the melodies. As you can see, like I took things in and I took things out and put things in alternately, because if I played everything at once, I have a lot of melodies in this beat, a lot more than well, not a lot more than I usually have, but more than I usually have for sure. A lot of them are just like very like small textures, but if I played them all at once, they would clash like crazy. So I spread them out over the beat. So the next thing that I have is this pattern here, and it sounds like this. So that's like the second lead in the beat, I guess. That plays in different sections from the lead I showed before this. It's like a plucky sound. For the effects, just have some EQ. I'm cutting out the really harsh highs and cutting out the lows here. Sound like this otherwise. Yeah, it's a small difference, but I think when I was playing this sound with the other ones, those really high frequencies were clashing with the drums and making like crunchy noises that I didn't like, so I had to filter them out. And then I have this sound here. Oh shoot, I should show you the MIDI for that is this. Yeah, oops, it's this, but and the preset is Pluck Spectre from Shinju Serum Bank, Volume 1. And I think I actually, now that I'm hearing it, I pitched it up 12 semitones once I'd rendered it, instead of pitching up the MIDI and rendering it again. And the mode, I have E3 generic. It just sounds a little better for this kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I did for that. So then the next pattern is this one here. I'll play it. I'll play it showing the MIDI so that I don't have to go back and click in again. It sounds like this. It's very similar to this one. They kind of complement each other. I'll play them together. there's just like a little extra note here. And this, I used BBC Symphony Orchestra 3. This is free. You should really download it if you haven't. I have violins too, spiccato, sounds like that. And then for processing for that one, that's on track 10. So what did I do? I EQ. That's really it. Without the EQ, it's like that. It's not a major difference. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So then the next pattern is this one. Let me just make sure I don't have any automation clips going right now. No, I don't think I do. So this is the next pattern. It sounds like this. So yeah, that's rooted to track 6. I have a lot going on here. I have a pitch shifter. I'm pitching it up. This is also a free plugin, Kilohertz plugins. They have a lot of really great free effects. Some of them are kind of basic, but some of them can do stuff that you really can't do in your DAW, or that you can't do nearly as easily in your DAW. And FL Studio does have a stock pitch shifter now, but it only comes with like the premium version of FL Studio, and this one is free. So this is cheaper than the stock plugin in a way. And so I have it pitched up 12 semitones. I turned the grain size all the way down. I turned correlate on, and the compensation is high, because if you don't turn that up high on melodies, you get like a lot of unpleasant artifacts, which can sometimes be what you're going for. But that was not what I was going for. So I have that first. Then I have backmask, just default settings, I'm pretty sure. That's reversing it. Then I have a duck doing this side chaining sort of shape. And then I have an EQ, really aggressive EQ, cutting out a lot of stuff. And so without that effect chain, here's what it sounds like. It might be pretty loud. So prepare your ears. I guess it's not that loud, but probably without the EQ it'd be pretty loud. And so then again with the effects, yeah, it changes it quite a bit. And so the pattern for that, I think I can find it. I think it's this. Yeah, this is it. This is what the MIDI looks like. And the preset I used was Pluck Dimension from Shinji Syrian Bank, but I think I changed it to be mono and legato, and turned up the portamento a little bit, so that it would be more like a lead than a pluck. And yeah, so that's that pattern. Then I have here, this is pretty basic. This is just some strings, also from BBC Orchestra. Sounds like this. And that's, yeah, it just repeats. That's just got a simple EQ on it. And that's from this pattern here. It's just 2 notes. And then finally, well, not quite finally. There's a lot of melodies, guys. Bear with me. I've got this sound here. This is another like a pretty textural sound, and it sounds like this. So for that, I've got this gross beat. So this is reversing it, this half timing, reversing, half timing again, and then I've got this edited like sidechain type of curve thing. Then I've got a manipulator shifting the formant up a little bit, and this does introduce some artifacts and mess up the sound, but for this, in this case, I didn't care. Is actually kind of what I wanted, so I kept it like that. Got pancake, so that's just panning it from left to right. And then I've got an EQ, really cutting a lot of stuff out. So without the effects, it sounds like this. And with them again. Yeah, so that's that. And then finally, I've got this pattern here. This is I can just go into the MIDI for this one because this is after I added this after I'd rendered those other ones out and my CPU was fine. So this is the MIDI for that. It sounds like this. And yeah, it basically just repeats those same chords over 2 bars for 8 bars. The preset I used for this is this is a preset. I edited a preset that my good friend Evola made and sent to me. We're working on a serum bank that's coming out soon. But yeah, I tweaked this one a little bit. But basically, he made this preset. And it's fire. So shout out to him. And then for effects on that, let me see. It's ready to track 9. So on track 9, I've got a EQ. Doing this stuff, and I've got a gross beat, 1/2 beat gate, so it's playing 1/8 notes. So without it, it would sound like this. Yeah, and that's pretty nice, but I felt it fit better in the beat if I did this. I wanted it as like adding some movement. And I think that's all the melodies. Yeah, so now I can move on to the drums. There's a few different things. I'm going to zoom out. A few different things going on with the drums here. There's 3 different 808s in this. So I guess I'll start with like this section for the first drop. With the 808s, I'll play them both so you can hear how they sound together. Yeah, so the first 808 is this like Z type 808. Sounds like that. I turned up the out knob a little bit. If I hadn't, it would just sustain for a little longer. And for processing, what I did was I put a transient shaper on it. This is also free. I turned the speed all the way down because if you turn it up higher, it's more clicky, and I wanted it to be like more thumpy. And I just tweaked it a little bit. And then I have an EQ. Pretty simple EQ. I just cut out some of like the fuzz in the high end, and I usually cut my 808s at around like a big scoop like this, around 200 hertz. And I did that on this one. And one thing to note for this is that if you're going to use a transient on your 808s, it's important that like the 808s don't sustain into each other. This isn't really an example where that would be a problem, but if I like had them, if you have like a long 808, like a Spins 808, and there's not like a pause before the next 808 hits, like if it's just like this, and the 808 is like sustaining into the hit for the next 808, the transient shaper is only going to affect that first one because it will only like recognize that as a transient. So you need like pretty much silence between your 808s if you want the transient shaper on the mixer to equally affect all of them. So yeah, that's that 808. And then the second 808, this is like a bass. This is going to be in my new kit when it comes out. This is like a sub bass. It loops. I think it's made from a Spins 808. Like MH, the producer from France, uses it a lot. Sounds like that. And for effects on that one, I have some distortion. I have some chorus. I have a limiter to compress it, because when you distort stuff and put chorus on it, like certain notes will resonate a lot more loudly than the others, and I didn't want that to happen. So I put the limiter isn't actually limiting. If you This is like the main tab, but if you go over here, it's a compressor that's better than Fruity Compressor, in my opinion. It has better like visual feedback and more controls. And then I have a Pro Q. Looks pretty complicated, but all I'm doing, I used the side function to, I cut any side signal out of the sound up until about 200 hertz, because I wanted the sub to be in mono. Then I have like a scoop here at 200 hertz, as I usually do, and then I just boost some frequencies that sounded good to me, and I cut out some of the subs below, or I shelved out whatever some of the subs below like 40 hertz, because it just didn't sound good. So without the effects, it would sound like this. Then with them, yeah, it just sounds a lot better. And then so in the end here, I have like a kind of like a drill style thing, and I just did that. Drew these, have these slide notes up here, and then I panned the slide notes to the left and the right. So that's the first 808 pattern again. And then I guess in this section here, I just have the Zay 808 playing, and then the sub comes in as like an introduction into the next 8 bars. So then next we have the hats. This is also from my friend Evola. He made this hat, and in my opinion, it sounds really fire. Here's the MIDI and the pattern. Sorry, I was playing it in a section where I had a low filter on. It actually sounds like this. So yeah, it's pretty simple, just a little EQ as you saw. Then I've got another, like a second hi-hat pattern that I introduced in some parts. It's just like a super fast, like 16th notes, and then I cut it out at the end of 4 bars here. And this hat sounds like that. And I didn't do, yeah, I have the velocity alternating. I didn't do the panning in here, but, or I guess I did actually. Sorry. So yeah, I have it panning back and forth, left to right. And then because the ones with the higher velocity are always hitting on the same side, I panned the other hi-hat the other way. So here's what this one sounds like. And then together they sound like this. Oops. Together they sound like this. Yeah, so that's the hi-hats. Then I've got an open hat. This is what this sounds like. I'm gonna, yeah. Yeah, so how I did, there's some, it's pretty simple. There's some like slide notes in here. For this one, I have like a 0 velocity note and then a full velocity slide note, so it sounds sort of like a reversed open hat. I don't think I did anything with the panning, no. I didn't. No, I just have, on that, I just have like an EQ. Yeah, that's the open hat. Then I've got a clap, just like, you know, very simple. You guys know what that's gonna sound like. For the clap, I just I have an EQ, just cutting some harsh frequencies, boosting, not even boosting, just cutting out the lows, cutting some harsh frequencies. So yeah, that's the clap. Then I've got a few snares. I'll play them with the clap so you can hear how they sound like in the rhythm. This is the first pattern. Looks like this. This is a frosty type snare. Let me see where's that. Yep, just EQ. Then I got this one here. Yeah, and this snare, it's that one. I got this one, more like a Pluggnb type of snare. I didn't put any effects on that one. It was already pretty clean. Then I got this snare here. It sounds like that. It's like a trunk snare. Simple pattern. And maybe I put some EQ on that. No, I didn't do anything to it. Yeah, so that's simple. Next up, the crowd champ, which I didn't really do anything to. This is the pattern. That just repeats over 4 bars. Then I've got a crash. And I think I put some delay on the crash with these settings. Got pitch tick sound. I guess I'll do transitions later. But for now, here's how the drums in this section sound. I'll just turn them all on. Yeah, and so then in the next section, I have a new 808. Here it is. It's Dro long 808. You know, the classic one. For processing, I have the same transient shaper, slightly different settings than the other one. I have a Pro Q cutting out highs, scooping at 200. And you can see here that I cut them off a little bit short so that the transient shaper would work as I explained. And here's what the pattern sounds like. Yeah, and that's pretty much that. I have a different pattern for the other, like the main hi-hat that sounds like this. Same pattern with the Pluggnb hi-hat. Same pattern with this. I alternated between a clap and a snap for this part, or between the different parts. So the snap, same pattern as a clap, just sounds like that. For that, I have a Pro Q, just boosting and cutting some stuff, and I have a limiter. I have some compression on this because it's very loud when it's uncompressed. So I wanted to make it fuller by compressing it. Then I have different snare patterns that I'll play with the snap. Oh no. Yes, this is the actual MIDI for the second pattern for the Pluggnb type of snare, and this is the same. And then I added this Vox in. Um, I made this by I edited like the classic like DJ Mustard Vox, and it's just repeating. It sounds like this. Yeah, so I did most of the editing beforehand, and then I rendered it out and just EQ'd it. And then oh yeah, I forgot to show that I have this like breath effect thing that I made playing at like bar 4 of every 8 bars, or at the start of bar 5, and it sounds like that. I just have a little bit of a delay on it, and yeah, that just keeps the motion going. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the drums. So next I can go into some like automations and effects. I already told you guys about the duck that I had automated. So basically, yeah, you can see like here, I just have I have these like different kind of cuts in on the melody bus playing at different times to keep things interesting. Um, then I've got like sorry if you can hear my roommates, by the way, guys. Um, but yeah, then I have like different. I have like a love filter that I automated on and off of the beat, and that's just that's just like I think it's yeah, it's like low pass 2 from stock Fruity Love filter. I just automated the mix on that because makes everything kind of sound quieter. It's good. And then I have gross beat. I've automated the all my beats. I put like a blank gross beat on the pre-master, which is where I route everything except for a few things like tags and certain effects. I put a gross beat with just like blank settings, and then I make different patterns in these slots. And if you right click, you can make an automation clip out of the like slot, the position for the gross beat, and then you can copy the value, clicking that, and then paste it onto the automation clip in the playlist. So I have like this one's like a tape stop effect, and then I've got some stutters throughout the beat too. And then the final automation, I just turned down the volume at the end. Then for effects, yeah, I showed you guys the crash and the breath effect. I've got like the classic like Pluggnb riser, you know. I've got this special like pitch tick thing that I made. Sounds like that. I like to use that in a lot of my beats. Just sounds a little bit better to my ears than like the original one, which you just speed this up. It's like a little more sparkly. I've got this like whoosh effect for transitioning between pretty much every 8 bars. Sounds like that. And yeah, all these things are going to be in my drum kit. I have actually 2 crashes. I have that one, and I have this one, and they basically alternate throughout the beat. I've got like a white noise effect that plays at the beginning and for the bridge. And I put some delay on that. It's nice to have those. I've got this riser effect that plays at select times. Then I've got you know, some classic Pluggnb effects like that one. Is sounds like that in the beat. Didn't really do anything to it. I've got this one. Yeah, I didn't route this to a mixer track just because I didn't have anything to do with it, and I wanted it not to be affected by the love filter. And the whoosh, it's important to also like trying to make beats like me, man. Which I don't know why you would. It's important to route the whoosh effect to the master, not the pre-master, so that it isn't interrupted by like tape stops and stuff, because you want it to basically like have motion for the entire beat, if that makes sense. Then I've got some tags, and I got the money bag, classic money bag effect. Yeah. So those are the effects and automations. Yeah, X models tag 1, X models tag 2, my tag here. I don't think I really processed those at all. That's not supposed to be there. And yeah, so for the arrangement, I just have like I have an intro, and then I've got like 32 bars of like verse and chorus, and I've got a bridge, and then I've got basically the same thing again. I like to start the beat off like without the 808, so I'll have like a few drums here, and then I have like the second clap, and then just like everything pauses, and then the 808 comes in. I just like to arrange that way. And here I had a similar thing. I have like a love filter, and then it leads into the drop 2 bars delayed. But yeah, so my closing remarks before I play the beat. When you're making these kind of melodies, it's important to you want to have like nice solid chords and a nice catchy lead, but I think what really makes these beats special is having those like little textures and pads and like little bleeps and bloops and stuff in the background. You don't want to go crazy with the drums, but you want there to be some variation and stuff. And then you want to like put a ton of effects in it, because the beats are pretty simple otherwise. So having a lot of effects in them keeps them interesting. And I should show what I did for mastering too. So for mastering, I have a high and low cut with a slight high boost, just to get out like the sounds that you can't really hear, or that don't really sound good. And then I boost the highs a little bit here. And then I have an OTT. I know what you're thinking, guys. It's pretty crazy to put OTT on your master, but it's very, very subtle, very slight OTT. I boosted the low end a little bit in this OTT. It just kind of glues everything together. Then I've got another EQ boosting frequencies I like, cutting ones that I don't like. I like using Pro Q for this because you can solo frequencies pretty easily. You don't have to do the thing where you like boosting a ton and trying to find what sounds bad, because that'll mess up your ears. It's not how it's going to sound in the mix. And then finally I've got a clipper, some input gain. I usually like to put my slope for the threshold at -6.5, but for that you should really just listen to how it sounds on your kicks and your 808s, like at different settings, the clipper, because different settings can sound good at different times. And then the output, I just turned it down a little bit, so that I wouldn't have digital clipping later. And yeah, that's pretty much my mastering process these days. I sometimes do more big brain stuff than that, but these days I pretty much keep it simple. But yeah, so I'll play the beat now. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.